Jared. Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Hump day. Happy Wednesday. Welcome on Until It's Been at Lauren Tavar here with Jared Smith. We got the Masters coming up this weekend. The good old green jacket. I cannot even wait. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And news, Tiger Woods going to be playing. I'm so excited about that, Jared. How do you feel?
I feel good, but also nervous because there's been a lot. I got asked this question multiple times yesterday. Is betting on Tiger Woods a good bet? No, of course not. Absolutely not. He hasn't played a round I've played rounds earlier than he has. Granted, I know he's played at Augusta this week, but you get my point. He hasn't played a professional round in almost 2 years, but there's going to be a lot of excitement, and he is the highest handle of bets at like every sports book. It's
because
insane.
Everyone wants to see him win. Everyone wants to see him win. I don't necessarily think it's like a head bet. It's more of a heart bet at that point, right?
And those are okay to make, but I think you just have to take into account that it's a minus EV bet. It is. It's just minus EV.
Yeah. I may or may not be betting on Tiger Woods because I want to see him wear his red shirt on Sunday, be in the mix, put on a green jacket. You love to see it. And so I'm really looking forward to that. We got a lot to talk about today because NBA, obviously, most teams have 3 games. Some teams have only 2 games left in the regular season, and things are heating up, especially in the wild card race or the play-in race. The play-in race.
I don't like a wild card race.
I know. I kind of like the wild card race too. It feels right.
I think that's better. To be honest with you, I like wild card better than play-in.
Yeah,
I really do. If I had to pick one of those two verbiages to use, wild card sounds much cooler, more exciting.
Play in the suggestion box for Adam Silver.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. Yeah, I'm sure.
Then we're taking it across the pond. Jared, you have some kick picks today in the Champions League, so we'll get into those. And we have Masters with Diane Knox. We're breaking the Masters down, what we're expecting, what we think we're going to see, some bets that we're making heading into this weekend. NHL Ice Picks, 5 games on the slate tonight. I know I'm on one. Jared, you're on one. And then we can't end without our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. So let's get right into it. Let's bet it. Okay, we're starting with NBA. And this is a new segment we like to call Scoff or Yoff. Let me explain this to you. Our producer, very creative.
I was like, what the heck is this? Now I like it. But when I first saw it, I was like, what is this?
Yes, let me explain it to you because people are probably like, what the heck is that? Okay, there's 4 Eastern Conference teams right now that are vying for a playoff spot. The DraftKings odds are included. Are you scoffing? No, at the idea of this team making the postseason, or yoffing? Are they going to the playoffs?
To the Yoffs.
The Yoffs.
Genius.
So this is
credit Jack or Justin, our producer, whoever came up with this one.
Very creative, Jack. This is not considered just getting into the play-in game because all 4 of these teams are obviously playing in the play-in. Yes. This is these teams that are going to be in the 7th seed, in the 8th seed, come the playoffs after the play-in. Or wild card, as we like to say. So let's start with it. The Cavs, first of all, yes. Is it minus 200? No. Is it plus 150? Jared, how do you feel about the Cavs making their way into the postseason?
So I will preface this by saying in my mind, I am going to seed these teams how I think they're going to finish. Because you can't accurately predict and project.
Can you predict it or no?
I just combined predict and project together into one word and predict where these teams are going to finish if you don't know who their opponent is in the play-in game. That is crucial to this little game that we're playing. So I'm just going to take the standings as is. Cleveland 7, Brooklyn 8, Atlanta 9, Charlotte 10. And
Brooklyn and Atlanta are technically tied for it.
They are, but right now Brooklyn has the tiebreaker. Yeah. And as we talked about before the show, your Hawks have a couple of tough games the next 2. And I think the Nets last night showed that they're ready to kind of get into playoff mode because they kind of put the hammer down in the 4th quarter against the Rockets in cover, but they did win that game. Tough to cover a 17-point spread. So I'm going to say that the Cavs have to play the Nets in the play-in game. And that's tough. So I'm going to say, and also no Jared Allen, I'm going to say no.
And no Mobley either at this point.
No Mobley. Good point. I'm going to say no. Plus 150. Let's go plus money on the Cavs. Plus 150 to the no. So
Yeah.
I'm scoffing at Cleveland. Stick my nose at them.
I like that. I'm going to also scoff at Cleveland, too. I look at their schedule. They have 3 games left. Or no, they have 2 games left. Sorry. They're playing the Nets and they're playing the Bucks for their final 2 games of the season. The Nets are on the road on Friday. So they have a couple days off before that game. And then the Bucks are at home on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Those are going to be 2 tough games to win. But they're going to finish in that top 7 or 8 spot, I think, just because of the standings right now. I think, though, if they lost both and, like, Brooklyn wins their last 3 or the Hawks win their last 3, there's a possibility that they drop down to that 9-10 spot. They're not officially locked into 7-8. But I'm also scoffing at this and saying no because they're playing Brooklyn. They're probably going to be playing Brooklyn in that 7-8. And then they have to play 2 games to make it into the postseason. The Hawks are playing really good basketball right now. The Hornets, we'll get into them next because, okay, we'll get into the Hornets next. But I'm going to scoff at the Cavs. Without Mobley, without Jared Allen. I was just covering the game a couple days ago when they played the Hawks last Thursday, and they just didn't look good. Their shots weren't falling. Offensively, they weren't getting good opportunities. And then defensively, they weren't they just didn't look as good as they were earlier in the season. And I don't know if it was just an off day for them because they didn't have Mobley, they didn't have Jared Allen, they didn't have Rondo. But at the same time, I don't know. So I'm going to scoff at them. Plus 150. Give me some plus money on that. The Hornets, yes, at plus 250. No, minus 360. I know how I feel about this. But how do you feel heading into the last few games of the season?
I kind of like the Hornets at this price. So they're probably I mean, they're probably going to be the 9 or the 10, which means they're going to have to win 2 games. And if they're the 9 and they get to face Atlanta at home, they just beat – you were just there 2 weeks ago. They just beat you guys in Charlotte.
They were hot offensively.
Yeah, so if their last 3 games, Orlando, Chicago, Washington, they should beat the Magic tomorrow.
They should win 2 of the 3 of those games.
Yeah, if they can get into that 9 spot and they can get that home game against the Hawks or maybe the Cavs – or the Nets. Here's the thing. I think the Nets are winning out. So I think the Nets are going to be the 7. And
the Nets play the Knicks tonight, the Cavs on Friday, the Pacers on Sunday. The Nets are winning out. They should win all 3.
Yeah. So I think the Nets are going to be the 7. And then I think either Atlanta or Charlotte's going to be the 9. And I think Atlanta or Cleveland is going to be the 9. If Charlotte can get to that 9 game somehow and host, plus 250, that's the longest price on the board here. So I'll take a flyer. And, well, here's the part that scares me, though. LaMelo Ball is out, right, for the rest of the year. That's Lonzo. That's
Lonzo for the Bulls,
So LaMelo's still good. I'm going to go Yoffs.
The Hornets would be screwed if they didn't have LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, they'd be screwed. I'll go Yoffs. Just because it's the longest price on the board. Let me just disclosure. I'm not betting any of these. This is for fun game purposes. This is like play money. I wouldn't go out and make a large wager on the Hornets to make the playoffs. I would much rather wait and see what the matchup is and then bet them in the individual game. But for the purpose of this game, to have some fun, I'm sure one of these producers in the back is keeping track. I'll go yes. Plus 2.
Yoff. Not yes. Yoff, Jared. Yoff. I'm going to say Noff or no. Scoff.
Noff.
I was saying no.
I've had about enough of you.
I've had enough of you at this point. Obviously, minus 360. I'm not betting this either. But just with the Hornets and the firepower that they have, offensively, they can get it going. Defensively, they're not that great.
No. They've given up 144 points in each of the last 2 games. Granted, it was Philly and Miami. But
still, at the same time, you got to do a little something. Stay in front of the guys. Box them out. Double team them. I don't know. Zone them.
Zone them. Double team them. Whatever you got to do.
Something. But they're hot because they get their offense flowing. But they really they have LaMelo Ball, but they don't have the superstar on their team. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a team to make it to the playoffs, you have to have one superstar. And LaMelo Ball is good, but he's not
They have some nice wins. They beat the Hawks and the Nets in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So they've proven that they can beat the teams that they're going to have to beat. But
they also got crushed by the Heat last night by 30 points.
Yes, but they don't have to face the Heat in the playing game. That's not what we're betting here.
Yeah. They'll probably have to face them in the first round. Yeah, I know.
Yes, but then you've already cashed your plus 250 once that gets to there.
Let's get into the Nets. Obviously, yes. Minus 265, no. Plus 195. I mean, it's a yes. They have KD, 100%. They have Kyrie, enough said. You don't really need to say more, right?
Yes, 100%. I think the Nets are a yes. I wouldn't bet it. I would probably just money line maybe the first game, and then if not, money line the second game. But I don't see how the Nets don't make the top 8. I mean, they have the 2 best players on the planet, perhaps. Kyrie last night, I watched that game because I had the Jalen Green prop. Kyrie is playing. I think Kyrie's playing better than Kevin Durant is right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, KD casually dropped his career high 55 points the other night.
Yes, but I think Kyrie looks more connected to the game from what KD's game looks a little more. And granted, to be fair, I haven't watched the Nets that closely, but I did watch last night's game pretty closely. Kyrie looked like he was more in flow, in rhythm with the offense completely. KD looked a little more ISO. And I think that's just Kyrie is just a little more in rhythm right now. But yes, KD can go off at any moment for 50 easily. I'd be shocked if the Nets did not make the offs.
Yeah, that's true. And then the Hawks, obviously I'm turning this over to you, not going to talk about the Hawks because I work for them.
Well, I guess the question is, do you want your season to continue or do you?
Yes, of course I want my season to continue. Of course.
I know. I'm kidding.
They're playing good basketball right now.
Trying to poke the bear a little bit. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of on the no with the Hawks. I think the price is telling because if you think about the talent that the Hawks have, they should be a yes, but it's plus money to the yes. So I think the odds are kind of telling you that they're down, that the bookmakers are a little bit sour. The bookmakers are scoffing at Atlanta. So I'm not betting this one again. I'm not betting any of these, but I would say no. So I would say Hornets Nets would be the ones to make the playoffs right now.
Okay, we'll go for it. There's 6 games. There's 6 games on the slate tonight. I'm going to run through my picks really quickly. So the Mavs taking on the Pistons. I like the Pistons plus 12 in this spot. The Mavs have won 6 of the last 8 games. The Pistons, though, they're also on a 3-game winning streak, and they are like a cover machine. They're 8-3 in their last 11 home games, 19-7 against the spread in the last 26 overall. Now, the Mavs need this game, right? They have a chance at the 3rd seed in the West. This line feels a little bit steep to me. And the Pistons have been really competitive lately. Like, they've been winning these games. They're kind of playing like they don't really have anything to play for, but they're just playing hard. Dwayne Casey's a great coach. He pushes his young teams to leave it all on the floor, even though, like, they're literally not playing for anything. They won the last 5 by an average of 2.4 points. They're also 22-17 against the spread at home this season. I think the Mavs are going to win, but 12 is a lot. Is it still a 12? I think it was 10. It moved to 10. But the Pistons are going to hang within the.
No, it's at 8.5 right now.
8.5 now. Wow, I would still take it.
A lot of steam on Detroit tonight as a home dog. It's probably going to be I'm seeing, like, now the splits on my site can be a little skewed, but I'm betting on this being probably like one of the higher bet dogs of the night, I would guess.
Yeah. And then I also am looking at a game, the Suns taking on the Clippers. Obviously, the Suns on the second half of back-to-back, they crushed the Lakers in Phoenix. How about the Lakers, by the way, not making the postseason? It's pretty crazy.
I feel like the writing's been on the wall there for like a month.
I know.
Did you see that one shining moment they did on Twitter? Absolutely hilarious. They did a one shining moment parody for the Lakers season. It was delicious. I recommend watching it.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely check that out. The Suns clinched the best record in the league, #1 seed in the West. Booker, Ayton got to rest on Friday against OKC. They lost that game, but their stars got to rest. The Suns could rest some players again today, and there's nothing to play for. So why wouldn't, like, they're already locked into the #1 seed. Why wouldn't you rest some of your best players down the stretch before postseason? Because that's when it matters, right? Now the Clippers are looking for their 3rd straight win. They beat the Pels. They destroyed the Bucks. They dropped 153 on the Bucks the other night, 153-119. The defense has been great against the Pelicans. They held them to 40% from the field, forced 16 turnovers. I lean towards the Clippers in this game just because of the home court advantage, and they also have enough depth to compete with top-ranked teams, which we saw against the Bucks. I think they could do that against the Suns. Clippers are 11-3 against the spread in the last 14 home games against the Suns. So I'm leaning to the Clippers money line in this spot, plus 122. I like getting it at plus money. The Suns could be resting some of their best players. Obviously, the Clippers have really strong depth. Their 6, 7, 8, 9 men in their rotation are solid. So I like the Clippers in this spot. This is more of a lean. The Pistons one I feel a little bit more confident in, but Clippers money line, plus 122. Lock it in. Okay. I don't know if you've heard, Jared. The Masters are this weekend, and I'm very excited to welcome in one of our new teammates. Let's bring in Diane Knox. She's going to be joining Pickswise as a golf betting analyst. Woo! And Let's Bet It, as well as giving her analysis on Pickswise.com. Diane, welcome to the team. How are you?
Thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be here. And what a week to make my debut with Pickswise. I mean, it's the greatest week. I feel like a kid on Christmas morning knowing that the Masters kicks off tomorrow.
You're our present on Christmas morning. We get to unwrap all of your knowledge. It's beautiful.
I'm so excited. Diane, just for our audience that doesn't necessarily know you yet, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the betting world, why you love golf so much, and just a little bit about you and your background.
Well, I am from Scotland, if you couldn't already tell me. I worked in TV and radio in Scotland for 12 years before moving over to the US in 2016. And I got into golf pretty naturally. I had been doing a little bit of golf work in Scotland, and full disclosure right now, my brother plays on the PGA Tour.
He's having a pretty good year.
Cool.
I know. He's not playing this week, but hopefully next year. So I had, a good few contacts in golf and really got into working in golf media. And then really naturally, as the betting market just blew up in the world of golf, it was something that I really gravitated towards and have been working in this side of the industry now for probably the past 2 or 3 years, really. So I'm so excited to join you guys, though. I've known Jared for a little while, so it's great to be on the show.
I love how you say Jared's name. That's my favorite.
I know.
It's so good.
Well, her husband's name is Garrett, so there's always that fun little dynamic between the way we pronounce, or the way she pronounces both of our names. Fun fact, or I guess fun story about Diane, she is responsible for the bet I've ever made in my entire life. 250 to 1 outright winner on Martin Laird in the Shriners Open last year. She came on my previous employer show, and she gave out this 250 to 1 long shot. Bang. And it was honestly I've had a lot of runs at the craps table and really good nights. I've never won that much in one bet in my entire life.
I mean,
that was the best. I don't know if we're ever going to top it, but we're going to try.
That's a little bit of a precursor to something I've got coming up later for you guys, because I stuck with my Scotsman. I had to stick with my countrymen. And
I love it.
So,
I love it. Diane, I want to start this out because obviously one of the biggest pieces of news that Tiger is going to actually be playing this weekend. Do you think he's going to make or miss the cut, or will his experience kind of help him out in this spot? Because I know he's one of the most bet golfers this weekend.
Yeah. The thing about Augusta National is experience counts for everything. And Tiger Woods, being a 5-time winner, he's a tactician around Augusta National. He knows little nuances. I read this great quote. He'd been talking to his son, Charlie. They went out and they played together there last week. And Charlie said, this one, I'm looking at left cup edge. And Tiger's like, what about 3 foot to the left of the cup? So there's all these subtle nuances, and he knows the places to miss, which is key around here. So Tiger has only missed the cut once at the Masters, and that was in 1996 as an amateur. Following year, he won by a landslide.
Wow.
Will Tiger make the cut? I'm 100% confident he will make the cut.
I agree. I think it's probably my favorite novelty bet of the week. It's not a bet that I would recommend shoving all your chips into the middle on, but a lot of people are betting Tiger to win the tournament, finish in the top 10. I don't think that's the right way to play it this week. If you want a piece of Tiger and also making a relatively smart bet, I do think make the cut is the way to go. There's some guys that I think are definitely going to make the cut that are on your card, at least hopefully. Let's start at the top, and let's start it with Cam Smith, because I think when you look at Cam, he has the pedigree. He's played well at this tournament before, and he's had a great, build up to this season. What are you looking at with the Aussie as, at the top of your card this week?
Well, we just saw him win the Players' Championship in incredible style, and that $3.6 million payday, which was nice. And after that, he was asked, a lot of Australians have a great track record around TPC Sawgrass. What is it about, Australians and your talent? And he said, well, it's creative golf, and it's something that I grew up playing. And he got to really show that off at TPC Sawgrass. He really gets to show that off at Augusta National as well. I mean, he's already played fantastic at this course before. And just in 2020, he broke a new record by shooting 4 rounds in the 60s.
Incredible.
So he's had some brilliant, great finish in 2020, obviously, but he's short game. He's a short game and putting wizard. And as I've said, you have to really know what you're doing on the greens at Augusta National. And he does. He's proved that once already. I just think with this confidence, even though the Players isn't a major, it's regarded as the 5th major. And I think as confident as he was before, it's just going to level him up a little bit further. And what have we got him at? Plus 1,400 for outright winner this week. Cam Smith is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, it's speaking of the greens, they're fast greens at Augusta, right? You have to know what you're doing in terms of putting. Is there one player in particular that you think might struggle a little bit while putting on Augusta's fast greens?
I really hope he doesn't, because I've kind of got him as one of my picks this week, but Will Zalatoris. We saw him as a rookie last year, finishing second behind Hideki Matsuyama, only 1 shot behind him as well. And no rookie has won the Masters since Fuzzy Zoeller in 1979. The thing with Zalatoris is he's had this really uncomfortable putting stroke over the short putts. The ones that look like gimmies, he does this weird kind of like jiggle on the way back, and his putting stats are so bad. However, we saw him at the match play in Austin just a few weeks ago, and he looked different. So he knew it was the black hole of his game. He obviously had to work on it. I hope he has, because after that tremendous start at the Masters last year, and as I said, that runner-up finish, it would be great to see him finally break through and get a win, and I think he could really do it on such a big stage.
You know what's funny about this year, Diane, that we haven't seen in prior years? People that, maybe aren't diehard golf bettors, diehard golf fans, they look at the top 10 of the FedEx rankings.
Yeah.
No Dustin Johnson, no John Rahm, no Dustin Thomas, no Jordan Spieth, Scotty Scheffler, Sam Burns, Cam Smith. It feels like, as much as we haven't seen debutantes and younger golfers play well at this tournament, it feels like that narrative might be switching. And with Scotty Scheffler at the top of the FedEx rankings, I love him this week. I know you love him this week. Why is the Chef a good bet to don the green jacket?
Scotty Scheffler, 3 wins in his last 5 starts. And again, we saw him just put on a tremendous display for the US at the Ryder Cup last year. And, for him to break through at the WM Phoenix Open, get that win, he followed it up at Bay Hill, and then we just saw him win the match play. So his talent is like, there's no question mark over that at all. He's number 1 in the world now, so you've got that confidence. But this is the thing I love the most, is his caddy, since he's got all those wins, is Ted Scott, who caddied for Bubba Watson forever.
Yeah.
Flag for Bubba's 2 wins, 2 Masters wins. So Ted Scott is a veteran caddy around Augusta National. He knows that course so well. So I think already you've got all those things in Scotty's favor, combined with the fact that he's got this, this amazing knowledge right beside him of the course. So yeah, how on earth could you ever overlook him this week as well?
Yeah, you talked about Will Zalatoris for a second. I love a good rookie story. So obviously last year we saw what he was able to do. Is there a rook this year that you like to kind of make a splash at Augusta National?
I can't believe Sam Burns is a rookie in the Masters, because he's already had 3 wins on the PGA Tour. But just the way the schedule worked out last year with that kind of PGA Tour super season, this is his debut. So I think Sam Burns, he's going to be really the top of everyone's rookie list. But I'm looking at Cameron Young. He's my top pick. You look at his strokes gained off the tee on the PGA Tour. He's second right now. He hits the ball a mile, so he can really capitalize on those par 5s. And we've seen him score 2 runner-up finishes. One was at Riviera Country Club for the Genesis Invitational, which is a very hard course to crack. And, he almost won it. So I think Cameron Young definitely would be my favorite rookie.
I like it. So there's some group bettings with the rookies, and I have him winning over some other rookies in a group bet, which is there's so many fun ways to play this tournament. You can play the straight up winners. You can play nationality props. I know you've got a top European in there. You could play props of guys to finish ahead, head-to-head matchups. Here's another interesting one. Sometimes it's easier to pick guys to fade in this tournament. And the guy at the top of my fade list this week is Bryson DeChambeau. So I made a bet on him. This is probably my favorite bet of the week. It's a little juicy, but I don't see any way that it doesn't hit. Bryson DeChambeau not to finish in the top 20 is minus 185. He hasn't finished in the top 20 of any of the events he's played this year, and he's injured.
Yeah.
He's not just going to walk onto the course at Augusta National with very limited experience in the buildup and finish in the top 20. Is he, Diane?
No, do you remember he said before that Augusta National was a par 67 to him, and we all laughed? He had egg on his face after that. The thing with Bryson is he is injured. Jared, you hit the nail on the head. He said himself he's only 80% fit right now. And Bryson is a very transparent guy. So we know, I mean, he's telling us outright, I am injured, but the Masters only comes around once a year, so I have to give it a crack. We saw him at the match play, as I said, a few weeks ago when that event was going on, and he did nothing. I mean, it was terrible to watch. So, no, I'm the same as you. I would completely fade him this week.
Speaking of someone who also wants to fade him this week is Brooks Koepka. I just have a quick question about him because I was like looking at Brooks. Obviously, the Brooks and Bryson whole debate. Brooks right now 19-1 to win the Masters. I mean, Brooks, did I say Brooks or Bryson? Brooks 19-1 to win the Masters. He finished inside the top 10 in over 50% of his majors. He's played in his career. He earned 3 top 11 finishes in his last 4 trips to Augusta. His irons are warming up. Diane, what do you think about Brooks and the price of getting him 19-1 to win?
I really like him this week as well. As you say, his Masters record is great. His major record is pretty unmatched. I mean, he's already talked about the fact that he levels up to this whole different gear when it comes to the majors. And he hasn't won for a little while. So he's definitely got that monkey on his back where he wants to get that done. And I mean, as you said, it's a short game that's been the problem for him right now. You know, those kind of around the green, chipping, pitching shots. So we talk about these guys having a bit of an obvious gap in their game. They know it better than anyone. So he's going to be grinding. He's going to be working on that. And it's just a different Brooks that you see at these big tournaments. So I like him this week as well.
Yeah, there's some interesting names that elevate their game where a lot of times we like to look at recent form, and all the guys in the top 10 of the FedEx rankings all have great form, but none of those guys for the most part are household names. Yeah. The household names, Brooksy, I've got Justin Thomas on my card.
Brooksy?
Are you besties
now?
I don't know. Brooksy, I like Brooksy, right? What do we think about the blonde hair? Is that a little too much? He looks like a Backstreet Boy.
Honestly, yeah.
Well,
he's kind of the bad boy of golf in a way.
Yeah.
He's just
You got Bryson's the nerd. Brooks is the bad boy.
Yeah.
I think so. I'll ask about, because I know we have some fun games we want to play with you too, but I'll ask about one more golfer this week that I think personally is due for one of those pushes, because Justin Thomas, his mission has been okay. He's had a lot of top 10s, of late in the buildup, and his scoring average is really good. But if you go back to his season last year, won the Players and then just completely fell off the map. Didn't finish, I think, higher. His best major finish was barely inside the top 20. And this is a guy that usually is a grinder in the majors. But I think, with Bones Mackay on the bag, I could see there being a little more stability with Justin Thomas's game. And the buildup, again, has been good. I got a good price on him at 14-1. How do you feel about JT this week?
Yeah, I actually just watched his press conference this morning, and he said that, he's the first to admit that his record in majors is not where it should be. Okay, yeah, we saw him win the PGA Championship, but Justin Thomas is a competitor, and he wants to be winning all of them week after week after week if he could. His game, as you say, it did fall off a little bit, but it's coming back. He's so sharp with his irons. It's unbelievable to watch. And Justin Thomas dialed in, having played these practice rounds with Tiger Woods and Freddie Couples. We know how much Tiger loves JT. So he gives him all this knowledge and this insight. Probably not too much, because Tiger obviously wants to destroy him this week. But I think you got it right there with Bones Mackay. He caddied for Phil forever, and obviously was on the bag for Phil's victory at the Masters. So Yeah, I think that it's only a matter of time for Justin Thomas. I feel like we say that all the time, but this could be a brilliant year, and he wants it. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Okay, I want to get into this fun game that we want to play. So we did this thing, Diane, during football season. We called it Red Hot Chili Proppers. I would give a prop, and Jared has 15 to 20 seconds to say over, under for the prop. So for this one, I'm going to give you matchups. And you have 15 to 30 seconds, however long you want to say your gut reaction of who you think is going to win this matchup. I'll go to you, Diane, first, and then Jared to follow up on all of these. So we're calling it knocking heads.
Knocks and heads.
Knocks and heads. Sorry, David, I had one job. I had one job, and I messed it up.
I'll be honest. We just did a fun play on words with the last sport. This one is a bit of a reach. We'll
knocks and heads. We love it. We love it. We're going with it. Okay, first matchup, Diane. Louis Oosthuizen taking on Joaquin. I almost said joking. Joaquin Niemann.
I'm going for Louis Oosthuizen for sure.
Okay.
So here's the part about this one that was interesting, Diane. I love Niemann. I mean, he had that unbelievable run at Genesis, and Riviera is kind of a precursor. Tough, very difficult course. If you can play Riviera well, usually, that is an indicator for Augusta, and he destroyed Riviera. But him and Louis have to play the first 2 rounds with Tiger.
I know.
So I was high on Joaquin, top 20, maybe even a sprinkle on an outright. Now I'm a little bit sour on him, but they're facing each other in this matchup. I'll take Joaquin. I think Niemann, to me, is playing a little bit better, but Louis got the course pedigree, no doubt.
Yeah, and Louis definitely has that, the runner-up in all the majors. Yeah. And he's never won in the US, which is crazy to me as well.
That is crazy.
That actually is wild. Okay,
next a really good reputation, too.
Yeah. Colin Morikawa taking on Victor Hovland.
Victor Hovland.
Yeah, okay. I like Victor here. I like Victor.
Again, he's so sharp. He's so good. And Morikawa has taken a little dip of late as well.
He has. So. He hasn't been putting it well, which is kind of off for him.
Okay, we got Shane Lowry taking on Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Oh, this is a hard one. I'm going to go with Shane Lowry.
How come?
I agree. I agree, Shane. What's his nickname? Beefcake? Beef? Something? Doesn't he have a fun nickname?
Well, there is another golfer on the European Tour called Beef. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I got him mixed up. There's I forget which one is called. And he's Irish, right?
No, he's English.
It's
fine. I'm on your side, got it.
Who am I thinking of that's nicknamed Beef?
Andrew Johnson is his name. He plays.
Oh, that's right. I like Shane Lowry. 55-1 is worth of a sprinkle too, I think, in this tournament.
And especially with the weather, if they have had rain and it's going to be windy as well. So yeah, I always think that plays into Lowry's hands.
And then the last one, battle of the initials, JT Justin Thomas taking on DJ Dustin Johnson.
Oh gosh, I don't know because I just picked up Justin Thomas so much, but Dustin Johnson I'm going with because he's a previous champion here in 2020 and he's playing really well. Again, massive upturn in his game. So yeah, I'm going with DJ.
I was close to putting DJ on my outright card. I actually saw a very good matchup. DJ was plus money against Rory, which I thought, because I think Rory's a fade this week, at least in my eyes. I'll go JT just because I think JT is due for a good week. But if you can find DJ at plus money in any of those matchups, he's a little down on the odds board compared to where he normally would be. Yeah. He's got 4 or 5 guys. Usually he's at the top of the odds board, but he's not this week. So I think you're getting a little discount on him in some of these matchups. But for this purpose of this game, I love Justin Thomas. He's my guy. I bet on him last year, Diane. I went down in flames with him last year. I'm going back to the well this year with JT. I'll die on that hill. I'll die on the JT hill.
I like it. Okay, so Diane, I know we hit most of your bets, but I just want you to run through your card one more time for our audience because we kind of were bouncing back and forth. So just run through your card for us. Any of them that we missed, just give us a little bit of a reasoning why, and then we'll let you go.
Okay, well, I love Cam Smith at plus 1,400 and Scotty Scheffler plus 1,200, obviously outright favorites. Another guy that we didn't talk about is Mark Leishman, who I found this morning on FanDuel at plus 8,000. But Leishman he's had 3 top 10 finishes here, a runner-up finish behind fellow Aussie Adam Scott, and The cool stat I liked is that this will be his 10th Masters. Dustin Johnson won his 10th. Hideki Matsuyama won his 10th. So it could be Leish's turn. But again, Australian, that creative golf, he knows this course well. I liked Will Zalatoris for a top 5 at plus 600. Wow. Abraham Answer, another one I really liked until he withdrew last week from the Valero Texas Open. Hasn't really explained why either, but he's again played really well here before. Top 10 at plus 600. And Cameron Young, the rookie, as I mentioned, you can get him top 10 at plus 850, which I thought was great. And a little fun prop bet I had to go in for top Euro is Robert McIntyre, my countryman from Scotland, 1,000. Which I liked. And he is back here because he finished in a tie for 12th last year. He's had top 10s in 2 Open Championships, so a good major record already for a young guy who's really rising up. So I like that one as well.
Diane, we're so excited that you're joining the team. Thank you so much for taking the time and planting your seeds of knowledge for us in our audience. Really love having you on.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's so exciting.
Great to see you on my screen again. It's been too long.
Good.
Diane, have a great weekend. Best of luck with your bets, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Oh, she's the best. I love her, Jared. Love it. Welcome, Diane Knox.
I wouldn't steer you wrong.
It's going to be great heading into the rest of the PGA season.
One addition. I have a thick and luscious card for the Masters. We couldn't get to all the picks today, obviously. I'll tweet it out later. It's on the spreadsheet, but I've got like 15 picks on my card. A lot. Some of them are outright. Some of them are, fun props. I've got the top amateur. I've got the top debutante. I've got some missed cut bets. I've got some head-to-head bets, and then a few other outrights that I sprinkled. So you know where to find my spreadsheet. I'll tweet out later, but I have a lot going on. This is probably the most golf units I will deploy on one tournament all year. It's my favorite event.
Worth it. It's the Masters. Come on, baby. It's the best golf tournament of the year. Yeah. You have to. Agreed. You have to. Okay, I know we have NHL picks. Before we do, let's take it across the pond. Talk about some Champions League. Who do you got, Jared?
Yesterday was fun. We were 1 goal away from a full sweep. We pushed one of the bets. We won 2 of the other. So we made 3 bets. We won 2, pushed 1, made about 2-point-ish units. I think 2.05 units. I don't like today's card as much. So full disclosure, these are all half-unit bets. Yesterday, we made over 2 units. We have 3 bets on the card today, all of them half units. So even if we go 0-3, we are still up this week in the Champions League. We are protecting those profits because yesterday was a very good day. Hopefully one of these bets hits because they're all 2-1 or longer. So we'll start with Villarreal and Bayern. This is a very interesting match. Bayern Munich has the pedigree. They've got the firepower. But Villarreal has been very intriguing. They were the Europa League champions. They've knocked out some really good opponents in this run up to the quarterfinals. And I like Atletico Madrid yesterday. La Liga, the Spanish league, has been performing pretty well in these international tournaments of late. So we're going to play Bayern to win, but we're going to parlay it with both teams to score. And that price is 2-1. Very good price there. Again, these are half-unit sprinkles. Don't go full money on these. So Villarreal and Bayern, we're going Bayern Munich money line parlayed with both teams to score 2-1. We have 2 bets for the next match. Chelsea hosting Real Madrid. Fascinating matchup here. Again, we just talked about La Liga has been better than expected of late. And Real Madrid, I think, is live in this match. So the way I'm going to play it is Karim Benzema, who is the best striker on Real Madrid, one of the best strikers in the world. He scored 10 goals in his last 6 matches. He's on fire right now. He is plus 210 at FanDuel to score in this match. So we're going to do a half unit on Benzema, anytime goal scorer, and we're going to do a half a unit on the draw at plus 240. I see this match being 1-1, and I think Real is live to win. I think they could win the match. I also think it's probably going to end in a draw. So a half unit on the draw at plus 240. Chelsea's been the EPL is light years ahead of most of the other leagues, but Chelsea's looked a little vulnerable of late. They just gave up 4 goals to Watford in their last match. I think it'll be more of a defensive-minded match here. And I think Chelsea is susceptible to giving up a goal or two, but I do think this ends 1-1. I think it's a draw. And I think Benzema is the goal scorer for Real Madrid.
Okay. I like it. I like it, Jared. Got to get his kick picks in there because if we don't, it's not good. I love your kick picks. They're like
People
my
get
favorite.
very upset in the chat when we don't.
I know. I love the kick picks. We need to give out more of them. I'm all about it. Okay, let's bring it back to the U.S. Talk about some ice picks. I know actually both of these are our best bets of the day. So let's just get into our Pickswise.com 3-star play of the day. Then we'll get into our best bets, which are both on the ice tonight. We're loving our hockey bets. What do we got on Pickswise.com, Jared, for the 3-star play of the day?
Let's check it out. We have a hockey play. We have several hockey plays, actually.
Love to see it. And there's only 5 games on the slate tonight.
I know. We have a play on the Wings and the Jets. Mark Lammy has a bet on the Wings-Jets game. We also have a play on the Kraken and the Blues game. Tyler Mortimer is on that. And I will also direct your attention to some golf plays on the site. Our friend Diane has a 3-star play on an outright. And Ricky Diamond has a very interesting prop bet that I would point your direction to that I kind of like. I'm probably going to be tailing this one. And there's a couple of other outrights. Joe Champion's got an outright, Ian Wilkerson. So there are a lot of Masters 3-stars on the site today. Also a couple of hockey plays to wet your beak.
Yeah, there's only 5 games on the slate tonight. 2 of them are being covered on Pickswise.com as 3-star play todays. And we're covering 2 other ones. So we got 4 of the 5 games covered between us 2 and the Pickswise.com website. So go check it out. 3-star play of the day. And also for golf bets because the Masters starts tomorrow. Okay, let's get into yours first, Jared. Who do you got tonight for your best bet?
Viva Las Vegas, baby. We're taking it to Sin City. Interesting game tonight. The Nucks are in town to take on the Golden Knights. So the best part about the last 8 games or so, 8 to 10 games of the hockey season, is the intensity really starts to ratchet up. And I always say this to people who, especially, you're not one of these people, obviously, but people who don't really follow hockey religiously. I don't think there is a sport that the intensity goes higher than from hockey regular season to hockey postseason.
Oh, 1,000%.
It's almost like a different sport. We bet a lot of overs during the hockey regular season. Won't be seeing a lot of those overs in the postseason. It just everything tightens up. And I think Vegas, who has been to the Cup final multiple times over the last several years, I think they understand that intensity, and they have raised their game of late because they're kind of on the fringe of the playoffs right now. Over their last 5 games, 5-0, 22-9 scoring margin. They are trying to sprint into the postseason. On the other side, we have the Canucks, who had this, kind of mid-season resurgence, but 3-game losing streak, 7 of 9. Their playoff hopes going in the other direction. So it's kind of a momentum play tonight on Vegas. 3-way money line, minus 105. The goaltender match appears relatively even. Demko's been great for the Nucks this year, plus 10.7 goals saved above expected. Robin Leonard's been good too. These 2 teams just played a couple days ago in Vancouver, right? Can I call it Vancouver? Does that make
No, that's weird. You said Nucks in Vancouver. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Throwing out the abbreves. We're just going to abbrev everything. Brooksy too. Brooksy today. I'm all over the place. We going to Vancouver. All right, so this game was a tight game, 3-2. Vegas won in overtime. And Vegas won the home matchup earlier this year in November, way back, 7-4. So they're 2-0 against the Nucks this year. And again, I just think this is one of those, 2 teams going in different directions.
Yeah.
Vegas at home, I think they skate well, and I think they get the win in regulation. I'm laying 5 cents, good price, minus 105 over at BetMGM. So that's our best bet of the night. Vegas in regulation.
I like it. I'm taking it to the Eastern Conference. The Lightning taking on the Washington Capitals. I like Lightning. I have 2 plays on this game. My best bet of the day is the Lightning 3-way money line at plus 105. The other play I like is over 6 at minus 120. So you look at the Caps. They're wrapping up a 4-game homestand. They want to finish on a good note after some tough losses to both Carolina, Minnesota Wild. And they only scored 1 goal in each of those games. Now, the Lightning just got crushed by Toronto, which was not really like their best performance, obviously. They got crushed. I think it was 6-1 or 6-2, and they just didn't look like their team, like themselves. And then they also lost in a shootout to Montreal recently. Now, both teams are in the 2 wildcard spots right now. And I think that the Lightning are experiencing some fatigue because no team in the NHL has played more games than the Tampa Bay Lightning have over the last 2 seasons, right? They obviously won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. They've also been on the road for 10 of 15 games since March 6th. That's wild to be ending the season on that many away games. They're 7-7-1 in that time. They have had 2 3-game losing streaks, which is uncharacteristic for the Tampa Bay Lightning in that time. And yes, we talk about Vasilevsky and how phenomenal he is between the pipes, obviously Vezina Trophy winner. He still leads the league right now with 35 wins, but he hasn't necessarily at his best numbers. He's a .917 save percentage, 2.43 goals against average. His 40 goals against since March 1st is the highest of any goaltender whose team right now is in playoff position. Now, even though they're struggling, they still rank 10th in overall goals expected percentage, and they're solid on special teams. The Tampa Bay Lightning are. Now, the Washington Capitals, after having a phenomenal start to the season, they're 17-16 in 2022. They've gone 2-4-0 in their last 6 games. And they've been outscored 11-2 in their last 2 games. They've only had one road game since March 19th. They've had a 5-day break. They're having a 5-day break. So it's just like you look at what they've been able to do, and it's not necessarily like their best performance, even though they've been at home. They've had a 4-game road stretch. And I think the biggest worry for the Caps is their goaltending. Vita Vanecek, not good. 5 games, 0-4-1. His last 5. 4.16 goals against average, .863 save percentage. Now, Ilya Samsonov, his numbers haven't necessarily been better. They're actually worse, but he's still 19-9-4 on the season. Tampa Bay's won both of their games so far, but it's the goaltenders who are going through a rough stretch for them. And Tampa Bay seems to have it figured out a little bit more. Their offense has scored 4 more goals in 4 of the last 5 games. They have a healthy lineup with Stamkos, Point, Kucherov. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game, obviously, because the goaltending hasn't necessarily been great for the Caps. And the numbers for Vasilevsky hasn't been his best this season. So I like over 6. So my best bet of the day is the Tampa Bay Lightning 3 money line at +105. Lock it in. They have it figured out a little bit more, and they're going to be able to take advantage of the Washington Capitals and their goaltending, their not solid defensive performances, and spoil the end of the Caps homestand.
I hope you're right, because the Caps are the only thing standing in the way of my Isles. I'm not an Isles fan, but I have a future on them.
But you live close to New York, so you know why.
I do. And my number one hockey source is like a diehard Isles fan, so we're always talking about the Isles. But the Caps are, I think, 11 points ahead of the Isles for the last playoff spot. So it's like desperation for the Isles right now. And they lost last night at Dallas, sadly. But I hope you're right, because I want the Caps to keep losing so the Isles can make the playoffs somehow. Probably not going to happen, but a man can dream.
Yeah. Hey,
keep
those dreams alive. Keep those dreams alive, Jared. I love that for you.
If I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
If you had to choose a green jacket to like wear to one of your like games, would you like be cool with that? Like if this week, if you win one of your golf bets and they give you a green jacket, would you wear it on the air?
1,000%. I actually have like 3 green blazers.
Well, I think we should be rocking one of those this week.
Okay. I know, but I have to wait till Sunday, right?
Well, depends.
Saturday, maybe? Yeah.
I mean, when's your next
I got 4 games. I have 1 tonight, 1 Friday, and 1 Sunday.
So there you go.
Sunday, I'll wear my green.
On Sunday, on Sunday, if you're not wearing your green jacket on the air, I will be personally offended.
Okay. That's good to know. And we'll end the show on that, because I'll keep you waiting. I'll keep you wanting more. That's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Jared Smith, Lord Jabbar. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow for more Masters talk. Best of luck with your bets tonight. Have a good one.